The NBA season is over. We're already going into a brand new one. Summer League has already started, free agency is already kicked off, and a lot of teams look brand new. In NBA 2K25, the rosters are going to update. I already have a roster here that has all the player ratings and changes happening, and I'm going to cover every single NBA team and who looks better and who looks worse. Que pasa to the pack? It is Pack here. If you like roster news and NBA 2K25 news, please join the pack and subscribe. Let's get it, man. First up, the Philadelphia 76ers, as I always do. Paul George is now on the team. Look, you can say whatever you want. This is a clear improvement from what they had before. 3 players almost in the 90 overall club is cheating. Joel Embiid, who is, the ratings are a bit wrong in this roster, but he is tied as the best player in the NBA ratings-wise. Starting lineup-wise, you have Tyrese, Kelly Oubre, Paul George, Caleb Martin, and Joel Embiid. Now, I don't know if Caleb Martin will actually be the power forward, but no matter what, this team is better. I would say they're probably the second best team in the East behind the Celtics. The Milwaukee Bucks. There's not many changes. It's Taurean Prince. That's really it. Besides that, nothing major on this team yet, but you never know. Free agency isn't necessarily over. Things could happen. The Chicago Bulls look very different now. Zach LaVine and Kobe White are tied as the best player, at least according to this roster. Josh Giddey's added to the team. Let's see if he can maybe show some improvement. This is going to be one of the worst teams in the NBA realistically. Is Zach LaVine going to step it up? Probably not. Jalen Smith is on this team. Lonzo Ball will probably be back. They have Josh Giddey starting at point guard. That doesn't make any sense. It's going to be Kobe White at point guard, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams will be power forward, and then I think Giddey will be small forward. Who made this lineup? Overall, I think they're in a bad spot, realistically. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell decides to stay with the Cavs, which is what nobody really expected, except for him, apparently. No real major additions. They were already decent last year, and if everybody plays as good as they're supposed to play, like Darius Garland, for example, they're going to be good again. The champs. Okay. Quick critique about the Celtics. Every NBA champion always tries to improve after the season, and I haven't seen any changes. Now, in defense to the Celtics, they don't really need to, but you got to see some kind of change. Will Porzingis be healthy by then? We'll see, but no major additions at all for the champs. Let's see how it goes for them in the regular season. The Clippers lose Paul George. Now you have James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, who knows when he's going to be healthy. This team is kind of falling apart, and they also have a rebrand as well. Not looking good for the Clippers either. They do add Derrick Jones Jr., who had a good playoffs. We'll see if that's enough to elevate the team. Low-key, an interesting team is the Grizzlies. You have John Morant back on the roster. Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. we know are good. Smart's going to be healthy. Gigi Jackson had a great season last year. And on top of it all, Zach Edey's having a good summer league so far. So he has a chance for starting for the team. Let's see. Atlanta's going to be kind of bad this year, at least from what the roster looks like. You still have Trae Young, but you lose DeJounte Murray and don't really add anybody impressive. You do draft Rashacer, the #1 pick, but is he going to be that good day one? Probably not. You have Larry Nance Jr. as well. It's not looking great for Atlanta. For Miami, they don't make many moves. It was actually a meme that Pat Riley wasn't doing anything. They add Alec Burks, but that's not necessarily the greatest pickup ever. Kind of a weird offseason for the Heat. For the Hornets, bro, I don't think I've had a good thing to say about the Hornets in the last 7 years. They add Jalen Green. That's it. Utah, there was rumors that Laurie was going to get traded. It didn't end up happening. No major additions, really. They're going to be okay next year, but just okay. Sacramento, this is a pretty big one. DeMar DeRozan's added to the team. Again, 3 players almost in the 90 overall club. Is this the missing piece to get the Kings over that hump of just being pretty good? Keegan Murray's going to get better. I don't think this is necessarily a bad decision. You have De'Aaron Fox, Keon Ellis, or maybe it's going to be Malik Monk. You have DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Sabonis. It's a good starting 5. And the West is stacked, though. Let's see if this is enough to get them into a contending position. The Knicks. Now, there are some power rankings that are having the Knicks as one of the best teams in the NBA. They add Bridges, who's the 3rd best player on the team's rating-wise. Julius Randle would come back healthy. Bridges would start. I mean, it's only an addition, but they do lose Isaiah Hartenstein. And Mitchell Robinson, y'all know, cannot stay healthy. So who's going to play center? We'll have to wait and see. I guess Precious Achiuwa. The Lakers, another team that clearly needed to make some changes and made none. They draft Connect, who's having a decent summer league, and they draft drafts Bronny. That's it, bro. It's not looking good for the Lakers. The Magic. So there was rumors that Klay Thompson was going to go. They don't get him, but they get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope instead. Still a good player to have. Only big decisions they really made, but I think it's not bad having an NBA champion on your team. The Mavericks, NBA Finals Mavericks, make a big choice and get Klay Thompson. This is obviously massive. Look, Klay's not where he was anymore, but if you can get him open, who do you trust more in the league? You also get Najee Marshall. Quentin Grimes is low-key not a bad pickup. It's decent decisions. It's decent decisions from the Mavericks. Is it enough? We have to wait and see. The Nets kind of blow it up. You have Cam Thomas, who's going to drop 40 a night. You still have Nicholas Claxton, who looks good. Cam Johnson has some stuff. And then you add Bogdanovich. But this is definitely going to be one of the worst teams in the NBA. Ben Simmons probably won't even play this year. Realistically, it's not going to be a good year for the Nets, but they might get Cooper Flag, so it's worth it, right? The Nuggets needed to make some big changes, don't really make any. They add Dario Saric, which is not a bad pickup. That's really it. I mean, look, this team won a championship, but they had players like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Bruce Brown. Those players aren't being replaced, so what are you going to do? I mean, when you have Jokic, you're going to be good, but you got to stay healthy. All four of these players need to stay healthy if they want a chance, and that's going to be unrealistic throughout a whole year. Indiana, Pascal Siakam still on the team. The only real change is adding James Wiseman, and realistically, he's been looking horrible, so we'll see. Pelicans look pretty different, and honestly, better. You add DeJounte Murray, right? You still have Ingram, CJ, and obviously Zion. Getting Zion a proper point guard is obviously a good thing. Adding Daniel Tice, basically replacing him with Valanciunas, isn't the worst pickup. I think the Pelicans made good choices. I think they have no excuse to not make the playoffs this year. I mean, talk about horrible. Look, the only change they made was adding Tobias Harris, and like, is that a better thing? I don't know. I'll say that adding veterans is not a bad thing, and he's been a part of the Detroit Pistons for a couple years. It's not a bad thing, but this team's just not good enough. They're still going to be rebuilding after so long. It's just frustrating for them. They do have Paul Reed as well, and I guess they also have Tim Hardaway Jr., but God, it's just not enough. Look, in the East, the Toronto Raptors still have a genuine chance if everybody gets better, and honestly, they probably will all get better, but they really made no moves in the offseason. Rockets also essentially make no moves. The only thing is that they do draft rookie Reed Shepherd, who is already looking good in the Summer League. I can see him being pretty good, but not many changes for the Rockets. But I don't think they need many changes. Interesting team, the Spurs. They add Chris Paul. Now, Chris Paul is almost 40, okay? But there's no denying giving Wemby a proper playmaker is only a good decision, right? He is going to constantly be like, where's Wemby? And force feed it to him. That's going to be major for the Spurs. Like, forget trying to win now. They're really just like, we're going to make Wemby perfect first. They also had Harrison Barnes, which is not a bad player. Their depth is a lot better now. Stephon Castle, it looks great in the Summer League so far. The Spurs are only making good moves. To talk about a team that's not making good moves, the one issue the Phoenix Suns had was depth. We know KD, Booker, and Beal are good, but like, nothing, bro. They add Mason Plumlee, okay, but like, this depth is not enough. They need better. Super underrated free agency is the Thunder. With Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein added, this team was already fantastic, but to add these two, Isaiah Hartenstein who had an amazing year with the Knicks, and then Caruso is one of the best defenders in basketball, already on a team that's trying to win championships now is pretty damn good. Now the Timberwolves add Rob Dillingham, but not many changes. Now you could argue they don't really need many changes. They just need to play better when they're playing in the conference finals. This team has it all, and Anthony Edwards is only gonna get better. So I guess it's a fine offseason for them. So Portland does add Denny Avdija. Really, the most important thing for them is Scoot Henderson getting better. He needs to get better because this team's future does not look very bright unless Scoot plays better. Oh, this is weird. The Warriors. Okay, no Klay Thompson. Draymond is the second best player with Kuminga and Buddy Hield, and Wiggins is a 78 overall. Like, the team's all over the place. I don't know if they're going to be good next year. I can't tell, but Buddy Hield's a nice pickup for this team. Let's hope they're not bad. Speaking of bad, you add Malcolm Brogdon with the Wizards, Jonathan Valanciunas, like some vets. You draft Alex Sarr, like dope. But is this enough to get you in a playoff position? Probably not for the Wizards. That's it. What do you guys think about these teams? Which is your most interesting? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.